Hi, welcome to part 2 of my VM server build. This is one of the ones that came up at the top of the recent video where I asked what should I build, and this was amongst the top 5, so I decided to do it first. What I have laid out on the table here are all of the parts I plan on putting into a test bench, the one that I showed not too long ago on a previous video. This has never been used before. I did adapt it already so that it has proper buttons and lights and such associated with it. I also added the fan on the back to keep anything that put on it cool. Okay, but here we have all of the parts, and I'm going to start by putting this all together. And once we have it working hardware-wise on the test bench, then what I'll do is go ahead and move it over to the real rack mountable case, the 2U case that I have for this, so it can go into my server rack. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, let's start by opening up this motherboard. Got some wires there I'll save for later. Cable to, say, mini, micro, ATX, depending on how you want to call it. Get this out of the bag. Brand new. I've already put the studs that are needed on the proper locations on the rack. Oh, this is the test bench case. So we just have to get this down in here and line it up with the proper screw holes. Okay, I believe that's it. I think I see them all. There's not one on this corner, but everywhere else. That's pretty good. May have to move this fan. Looks like it's in the way of the power supply. We'll see how that goes. Let me go ahead and secure the motherboard first. Put in the screws. And that's it, 8 screws. So I'm definitely got to move this fan, move it over to the next spot, stand it up. And there we go, the fan is moved, okay? Probably where I want to boot it from anyway, when it comes time to load a test version of software. I will go ahead and actually put the fan on right now. I'll connect the fan up to this little connector here. So we have the fan come on, it'll be cooling off these boards here, and we're going to have obviously the CPU fan as well. That'll be there functioning as needed, just so I don't lose screws. Okay, so what'll next be, which is the most difficult part, the touchiest part, is I'm going to put in the CPU. So I have the 12th gen CPU right here. I don't know why this thing, I don't think it was open, but for some reason the label is off. There's the CPU. So I'll get it installed, get the protector off, and then we'll clean it off. There we go. And it should go this way, right? We have the little corner here. It's actually on the cover as well, and the little corner here that we have to align up, right? So let me take this and open it up. Let me do a quick inspection to make sure that the CPU pins are okay. I like to reflect the light on it, looking in both directions. See if there's any bent pins. Okay, it seems okay. So let's take the CPU itself. Take it out of its little plastic cover. Do not drop it on there, obviously. So I'm holding off to the side here. We got to take it this way. Right, there's the little gold marker here. That goes on that corner over there. So we just sort of drop it in right here. Very gently. And I give it a little wiggle, both directions, and it seems fine. Now I bring the cover down. Now some people feel better removing the cover manually, which is actually what I'm going to do here. I do not feel too comfortable having the cover on there when I press it down. Because one time I actually broke the cover, one of the pins on it, by doing that, one of the little tabs. So we got to push this underneath here. So it's underneath this little anvil part. And then we go all the way down. It's hard. And we get it in there. CPU is in, the most difficult part. So now let's put the memory in. Save this. Don't throw this away. This is critical. I'll put it back in the box. That's where it's going to stay. I keep the boxes for quite some time until either I've gotten rid of the CPU or something else. The system or something else. Let's get the memory. This is DDR5. Okay, let's get this out of here. Like I said before, this is something I had in my stock. I didn't have to go and buy it, so saved a lot of money with that. Okay, take it out. Now make sure the notch lines up. It has to be the right type. Okay, we should get a double click. Yep. Put the other one in. There we go, 2 clicks. I can close these pins in here. We got the memory installed. Well, at this point, I think the cooler has to be installed. Take this Noctua cooler, get it opened up. Noctua fans and coolers come with a lot of stuff. Oh, they give you a badge, a metal badge, no less. Look at that. Okay. The extra cables, what does this one say? Oh, that's a low noise one. It slows it down if you connect this one. It has a resistor, I think, inside of here that lowers the voltage. So let's see how we get this thing installed. It says apply thermal paste. Then it says fasten the heatsink to the CPU board. And then from the other side, you put the screws. That's it. It's pretty straightforward, I think. Let me get some alcohol, though, and clean off this first, okay? Okay, I got 99% alcohol. Put some on a paper towel here, and we'll clean off what we have to clean off. Okay. Clean the CPU, really good. And then I'll take the bottom of the cooler, the platen of the cooler, and I'll polish that again, just in case. It's brand new, but still, you want to make sure it cleans. Again, 99% alcohol. The reason we use it is because it will dry very quickly. So if any of it falls on the motherboard or some other component, we don't have to worry about causing a short. Okay. Put it on top while we screw from the bottom. Got to put the thermal paste on, of course, first. I'll use theirs, why not? The Noctua one. Okay, let's get this open. See what it looks like. Yep, looks good. And I will go ahead and do one of these things to get it spread around a little bit. I'll save this, it's still good. Now let me double check. I did see it spilled alcohol right here. Okay, let's take the fan and try to center it on this. Put this wire off to the side here and try to get this down very carefully onto where the screws happen to be. And then from the bottom, we've got to get these screws started. They're all in. Let me go ahead now and tighten them down. A little bit here, a little bit there. There we go. Just make sure you tighten them snugly, but not over tighten them. And also make sure that you do with diagonals, right? So I started here, then I went here, 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 here. And I just kept going a little bit at a time until it was finally secured. Okay, so now we have that all set. And the cooler looks like it plugs in right over here somewhere. CPU fan and CPU option. So it's only one fan here, so we do the CPU fan. I don't need to use table ties right now because it's just in a test bench. Unless something gets in the way, we'll see. Let me just get this fan on here. There we go. We now have a CPU fan. What I'll do now is I'll hook up monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and then we'll go ahead and see if it at least posts. Okay, that's the next step. Okay, I always like to put a speaker on. That way I can hear the posting. So according to the book, it connects right over here. So it's these pins, it looks like right here. Okay, I'll move this up. I have a keyboard, I have a mouse, I'll connect these guys up, and a monitor as well. Just trying to get it to post. Here's the monitor. Okay, let me hook up all these wires next. I'll stop the camera, this takes a while. Oh no, I almost forgot the power supply. Yeah, pull this off. Small form factor power supply, as I showed before. Get all this out. It's powered off. Put the power cable on. CPU power, the main 24-pin connector. Got to connect this at the other end. Motherboard here. Okay, that's in here. Here. Okay, I heard a click. I need the CPU cable, the 12-volt CPU. Only uses one of them, but I think this can support two. Type 5 CPU. Okay, got 8 pins over there. A PCIe CPU over here. Let's get this guy over here. And it's in. Okay, I guess all I have to do now is push the button. Let me double check everything first, and then we'll kick it in. Okay, everything's hooked up now. Let me make sure the power's off. Yep, power's turned off right there. Let me plug it in. I got a UPS plug right over here. Let me turn the power supply on. This one has no lights, so I'll have to go hit the power on switch on this side. Over here, let's see what we get. It's going. I see a green light too blinking. I'm not going to see a disk access. Whoops, I heard the beep. Hey, it's coming up. Let me show you. There we are. It's up and running. Wow, look at that. And it sees all the memory. It sees a total of 64 gigabytes of memory, 32 and 32. It's running currently at 4,800 megahertz per second. And, well, looking good. I'll have to now go and see what the next step is in order to check. The temperature is good, 32 degrees over here for the CPU, 23 for the outside. Okay, I don't have XMP enabled. Not sure I'll enable that right now or not. The 2 fans are running. Okay, so let me go on to the next step, okay? Okay, as it turns out, there's a new BIOS for this motherboard. It's probably about 1.5 years old, maybe a little bit more. So I put it onto the USB stick. I'll put it into the USB here, and then we'll get it installed. Okay, let me switch over to the screen capture. Okay, I have it booted up now, and I'm capturing the screen. It's only in the BIOS. There's no drive on it at all to boot any other operating system from it, but let's update the BIOS. So if we come in here and go to advanced mode, then we go into tool, and then we call Easy Flash BIOS, Easy Utility, and we see that there is one out there, okay, because I put it in the USB. Click on that. Okay, we're good. We don't have anything to back up. You want to read this file? Yes. Do you want to update the BIOS? Yes. Okay, here we go. This may take a while. May even have to reboot it because it's a little bit out of date, the motherboard, more than I normally see. Okay, it wants us to hit F1. Okay, we'll do that. And now we have the new BIOS installed, BIOS version 1825. Okay, let's go ahead and put the M2 drive in. So I have it right here, 2 terabyte M2 drive, Western Digital Black. Another thing I got off the shelf. I didn't have to go and buy this. And here we are. This motherboard has 2 locations for M2. It's got a primary location and a secondary location. Okay, so we're gonna put this one because it has the heat sink, right? And we've got a nice thermal pad here that we have to uncover. We'll take off this protector. Always remember to take these off or you're gonna defeat the whole purpose of, well, most of the purpose of having a thermal pad, because that plastic does not conduct heat. There we go. Let me go ahead and take the M2 drive, put it in, 45-degree angle into the socket, push it all the way in. Always leave the label on. If you don't, you're going to have warranty problems. If something goes wrong with it, it won't interfere with the cooling. So keep that label on there. Now we got this guy all ready to go. We just have to screw him back in place, and we will have it. Well, it looks like I don't need this screw because the heatsink is going to use the same location for its cover. So let me just take this screw back out again. when I did the comparison, I could see that we're going to use it to also hold down the M2. So I've got to do a twofer with this one. Let me go ahead, get this in here. I'll start this end of the screw here, and I'll push it down in place. Okay, tighten both screws down, and there we go. The M2 is now installed. Okay, for the remaining parts, I'm going to need to get an operating system going on this. So what I did is I have these 2.5 inch with different operating systems that I connect as needed. I'll put one of those on here. I think the SATA ports I can get to are right over here. Let me pick one. Oh, I added this extra fan here too, to keep whatever boards I add in here a little bit cooler. And we got a power over here, SATA power. It's one of the cables I connected originally. There we go. That should work. Let's go ahead and test that first. I have the screen capture on, so we'll be able to tell if it actually works or not. Turn the power supply on, hit the power button. Let's see what we get. Okay, it's coming up. Let's see, oh, good. We got the Windows 11 circle there. So we're looking good in that regard. And there we go. There's a login prompt. Today's April 1st. Let me go ahead and log into this and see what we get. And there we go. We're into it. Let's take a look, see what the system looks like. Okay. We have the drive C, which is this little one right here, right? That I just added, right? And we have drive D, which is a 2 terabyte. That's a blank one that's the M2. And then I have my network drive where I keep my system software in case I need to bring drivers or whatever else that I usually load onto that area. But I already did bring the drivers in to this at one point. It should be in this Marvell folder over here. There we go. I did bring in the new drivers to this boot disk previously. I haven't loaded them yet, so we'll see if I need to, because Marvell is usually pretty well supported by Windows itself, at least the latest versions of it. So I think we're good in that regard. So let me shut this down, and we'll move on to the next step. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and I'll turn the power supply off just to be sure. Okay, let's go ahead and put in this 10 gig network card. Now, this is one I did in a previous video. It is an X1 type card. I did test it on my other test bench, so I know this thing does work. Okay, so as you can see by the LANs that are on it, it's only a X1 PCIe. So it's only going to use one pathway into the CPU, okay? So let's pick the slot. This is the one right here. This slot here is the one. If you have to actually look down into the LANs in order to see what I'm talking about, but you'll see that it only has LANs for this part of it. Whereas this one here is an X4. It goes further along. And this one over here, it goes all the way across. That's an X16 slot, usually for a video card. So we're going to put this one in here. I'll secure it just to be sure it doesn't get out of whack. Okay, pull this back a little bit so you can see. Now I'm going to move the network cable. I'm going to move it from the onboard 2.5 gig interface over to the new 10 gig. Now the port that I'm connected to on the lab switch is a 10 gig port, but it'll run at 1, 2.5, 5, or 10. So I'm going to switch it over to this card. Give me a little resistance here. Okay, there we go. And I'll plug this guy in here. Okay, so now we should be good. It's connected up to that card. Let's see if it goes and talks to the network. Let's turn it on again. Power supply, and then power on. The network connector has not lit up yet. Okay, the operating system is up. Oh, and now it's blinking. Let me see if I can show this without causing too much of a problem. If I tip this up, You can probably see in here that it is blinking. So the connection, the cable is blinking onto it. Let me see. Put that fan back. Okay, so that works. Let me see if we get to the network. I'm capturing the screen. Okay, so that's the screen being captured now. But let me log in. So let's go over to control panel. Let's open it up. Let's look at network and sharing center. Let's look at change adapter settings. And we see we have two network adapters. This one that says Realtek Gaming 2.5, that's the one that's on the motherboard. This other one here is the brand new one, and that's the Marvell 8Cushion 10 gig network. And I can go ahead and test it out just to make sure. Now, my internet connection though is only 1 gig up to the internet, but at least we can see that it works. Let me open up a browser here, go to the new tab. Let's do a search for internet speed. Okay, internet speed test. I like the Oki one down here. Okla. There we go. And we'll just say go here. Okay, download is doing very well. 940. It's about what I normally get. Now we're switching to the upload. And that's up into the 900s as well. So it's working fine, that card. And it's only using an X1. I could go ahead and test it against another PC's 10 gig card in my network, but I think the purpose of this, it does work fine. If somebody really wants that, let me know. I might make a short just to show that part of the test. Good speeds. Okay, let me shut down. Okay, let's put the video card in. I got this 3050 from Sinsview. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, I apologize. I paid for that, it was not sent to me to evaluate. Let me take it out of its little wrapping here. Look what we got here. And this is a low profile 3050. I showed this in another video, I believe. It has 4 HDMI connections to it. I'm only going to be using one as a server. And it has the low profile panel that'll be good for the case that I put this in, but I won't put that on now. And we'll put that into this slot right here, okay? Let's take off the little protector they got here. And let's get it down in there. There we go, it's in. Nice and solid. I will go ahead and secure it, just in case. I decide to tilt the case or something like I just did before. I don't want the thing floating all over the place. And there we go. It's all in place now. It's low profile. And I'll have to switch the video capture over to one of the ports on this thing. So I'll disconnect it back here. And I'll pick one of the ports on this video card. I don't think it really matters. And we'll see what happens when we power this thing on. Start the capture, turn the power supply back on, start it up. There we go. There we go, it's talking. That's great. So we know that that works too, that particular slot. Okay, let's log in. Let's see what we got. On a really high resolution right now. Let me see if I can change the screen resolution on this. Oh, it automatically picked the right resolution. It just had to wait long enough for it to do it. So it's set for 1920 by 1080. So we got a good resolution now coming out of that card. Okay, so let's take a look at the hardware manager. See what we got. Hardware 64. Okay. We just want sensors. Let's see what we got here. And if we look over here to the side of here, it says we have a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 with 6 gigabytes of video memory. So it shows up in there. I think the NVIDIA drivers have to be installed. I'll do that later. For this purposes of this test, this is all I needed to do. Okay, the only thing that I haven't tested now is the 6 terabyte external spinning hard drive. So why not? I'll go ahead and open this up. Brand new. I never opened it up. It's never been used, not refurbished. It's worth a lot more than it was when I bought it. I think I paid a total for this of maybe $120, and it's about at least twice that now. So I think it's a good thing I had it in stock, like a lot of other things in this build. So let me shut this guy down, and I'll put that hard drive on it, and we'll do a quick test of that. Okay, there we go. It's off. I'll turn the power supply off this time too. I have a cable, SATA cable, and I'll plug it into, I think that's the second port there. Let's see here. Yep. Put the SATA on. There we go. And then I got over here, SATA power. There we go. The notch goes this way. There we go. And I'll just put it along the side here like I did with the other one. Okay, so it's just sitting off to the side here. Okay, and we'll power it on and try again. Okay, booting up. I feel the thing spinning, so it is turning. Let me log in. So now we go over to this PC. What do we got here now? It does not see the volume, so I'll have to run the disk program. Okay, it sees a disk that is not formatted, disk 2. So I'll go ahead and tell it to set it up. Expand this window a little bit, and there we go. Disk 2, which is the hard drive. It's got total size of 5589.01 gigabytes. Now we'll just create a simple volume. Take the full space. It'll be drive E. That's good. All of these are just clicking through it. And now it's formatting. And it's done. And now if we look at the back window, we see that it's popped up. It's now new volume drive E. It's got nothing in it. So what we'll do is I'll run a quick diagnostic on that, see what we get. So we're going to run Crystal Disk Mark. Start it. Okay, that's all done. As you can see, considerably slower. What's expected, I think this one only runs at 5400 RPMs, but I'll double check that. There's no point in me checking the SSD, the 2.5-inch SSD, because this is not going to be the one that I'll be using in it. Once I put the system together with the one that will become the boot drive, running probably Proxmox, like I said before, then I'll go ahead and do a quick test on that as well. With that, I think we're done with testing this in the external test bed. I'll go ahead now and plan for finalizing this into its case in the next part of this series. Thanks again, and thanks for watching. Bye.